Hi everyone and welcome back to Math. Mr. G here for my 4th grade students at the Syracuse Academy of Citizenship. Today we're going to be going over our Zearn lesson for Mission 6, Lesson 7, working more with fractions, especially converting them into decimals and using some of our strategies with decimals. Now, before I begin working farther, I just wanted to review some of the changes that we made last time. As a reminder, there will no longer be any more exit tickets. And this is in an attempt to improve instruction for students and to make sure that we're really getting the instruction that we need to be successful when we come back to school. This is also just in response to, I want to make sure that students are really learning and making sure that they're not feeling overwhelmed with what they're doing. So these videos are going to primarily be used to go over things that are in the Zearn lesson, as well as going over maybe 1 or 2 examples that might trip you guys up or I feel need to be reviewed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what steps you need to take to be in the Zearn lesson, and then I'm going to go over an example. Okay, so this is the teacher view. This is different than what you guys will see on your end, but I can't get in as a student view yet until I create an account, which will take some time. However, in the meantime, I have my teacher account. And this is the whole lesson, all the components for it for lesson 7 today. First, we have our number gym. Then we have our fraction action, which is a good review for it, and this is what it'll look like. It's like a fun game with fractions. After that, we have our math chat, and this is really where we dive into the lesson and learn the new skills and practice them and really get them prepped and ready, especially when you have to go forward into your Tower of Power, which is right after that. So then here's your Tower of Power, which you'll be using the charts and all of the different discs to climb up the tower involving decimals. Remember that if you get stuck on the Tower of Power, it will review questions with you and it'll give you new examples to get them right. Additionally, if you're stuck, you can go back and review the math chat. The math chat is modeled just like the Tower of Power. So if you get stuck, that's a really good resource to go if you just need a quick bit of help. Moving forward, I'm going to go over just a quick question here. Not this one. We're going to determine of these 4 choices, which one is the greatest. So to do that, I need to convert all of these into a similar metric, a similar standard. So I'm going to put all of these into decimals because, well, that's what we're working with. I think decimals are going to be the best way to convert all these. So we really have to have a good understanding of our place values to put this in correctly. And I will use blue to make things easier. So this is an expanded form as a fraction. And I'm going to start putting these in. So first, my largest is the hundreds place. I'm going to put a 3 here in the hundreds place. I have a 10, so essentially a 1 in the tens place. I have a 5 in the ones place. Then we start getting into our fractions. We're going to convert these into decimals. So I'm going to put a decimal point right there. 9/10, I know that's going to go right here, the first number to the right of my ones place. And then in my hundredths place, I have a 1. So I've now taken this expanded form with fractions and turned it into just standard form as a decimal. Next, I'm going to convert this into decimals as well. So I again have a 3 in the hundreds place, a 5 in the ones place, so nothing in the tens place, so 0, 5, and then we're right into our decimals. It's in the hundredths place, so nothing in the tenths place, so 0, and then an 8 in the hundredths place. Done. Okay. Now we have these in expanded unit form. So we have 3 hundreds. Notice that there's no th after that, so it goes here. 110. And then don't get mixed up by this. Notice that the hundredth, there's a th at the end of it. I'm going to underline that for you guys. That's different than hundreds. Hundredths means that we're going to be in the decimal places. So there's no ones place, decimal. There's no tenths place, so 0. And there's 1/100th here. Okay, now we're going to move on to our next one. 300s here. And then there's no tens or ones here. It goes right into the tenths. So we have no tens, no ones, right into the decimal point, 1/10, and then again the th hundredth, so 1. So now that I've converted all of these, I can now compare them. The easiest way to compare them is to start at the largest place value holder in each unit and go down the list and see if we can find just an easy difference. So I'm going to go down the line here. All 4 have 3s in the hundreds place, so I can't change that. So I have to go over to my next place value, which is the tens place. I have a 1 here, a 0 here, a 1 here, and a 0 here. So I already know that it's not going to be this one, and it's not going to be this one. That's because as I'm going down in the tens place, they have a 0, which makes them less than these two right here. So now I'm going to go down the next one, which is the ones place. So there's a 5 here. We don't care about this one anymore, so we're looking at just here. And there's a 0 there. Well, I know 5 is greater than 0, so it can't be this one. So our final answer is 315.91. So that's our final answer to this. So again, this would be the answer here. Now, of course, I'll screenshot this and I'll put this up on our Google Classroom with YouTube video as well as a link to Zearn. If at any time you have any questions about this, please reach out to your teachers. And if you get stuck on anything, remember you can always rewatch those math chats and go from there. Also keep in mind that your work will not be considered complete until you have finished the Zearn lessons up to this point. And again, there are no exit tickets. We're really just trying to focus on getting these Zearn lessons done to make sure that you guys are ready for when you come back to school and ready for 5th grade. I'll see you guys tomorrow.